Hello, hello, and welcome to April's intuitive guided message. I am Teresa Stone of Lightworker Navigation, and it is my joy and honor to share this message with you this month. And to get us started, it has been quite the month of March, and there has been many big shifts in my life, and things just continue to keep shifting and shifting and shifting. The energies from the blood moon eclipse and the eclipse cycle, just in general, were quite potent for me, and I'm sure for many of you as well. And we're still, for the most part, in this energy until about midway through April. And I just want everybody to know that if you're going through really heavy transformational shifts as well, and dealing with a lot of loss or just a lot of transition, just know that you're not alone. Collectively, many are in the same boat, and we can feel very isolated on that boat as a small, little, tiny rowboat out in the big ocean. And I just want you all to know that there is an end to this energy. We are going to be finding that April will be a lot softer come the latter half of the month. And things will start to make a lot more sense as we go along and we get more information from our intuition, from our guides, from our soul. And right now, it feels very just uncertain about a lot of things. And where are we going to go? The direction isn't clear right now. So I just want all of you guys to know that you're not alone. I am certainly not immune to the energies of what's going on right now. So please know that I'm wrapping you all in the biggest hugs, and we're being wrapped in so much love. And if we can continue to connect to ourselves and really ground into the energy of the earth and bring in our own spark of love from our soul, even in our darkest times, in this heavy, thick energy where we feel so confused and we're constantly being, invited to go back into reviewing past life stuff or past experiences. And this energy just feels so tumultuous. Just know that when we return to ourselves and we sit in that energy, bringing in that space of love for ourselves to show up for ourselves, that will help to ease this heightened energy that we're in. I know that this is what I've been called to do over the last month, especially these last 2 weeks, actually. Um, and I have been really grounding in and connecting to the elements, connecting to nature, connecting to the trees, connecting to Gaia, and just sitting in that energy and listening to the vibrational frequencies of the hertz of the 432, the 528, and whatever other ones come to me. And I'm finding that this is really helping me to navigate my own circumstances, my own situations, my own experiences. And I'm just inviting you to do something similar, whatever intuitively comes to you, so that you too can navigate with ease and grace these very dense, heavy times of energetic denseness. There will be more things shifting over the first couple of weeks of April. Well, we've got a couple of the planets finishing up their retrograde, Venus and Mercury specifically. And as the planets continue to regain their strength over the month, we will feel a lightening, a much lighter energy. So, with that all aside, I want to just dive right in and just see what the cards have to say. There wasn't a lot of decks that I was drawn to this month. I was drawn to the Shaman deck, and I haven't used this deck in quite some time. I find it's a very earthy deck. It's got a lot of earth energy and a very grounded energy. And as we go into the month of April, I thought this was kind of fitting for where we're at with the energies, since I do feel this deck is a very earthy energy. Now, this is interesting. The middle world is what's coming up here. And it's talking about the present. Now, if you're familiar with shamanism, they do speak about the underworld, which is typically the roots of the tree. And the middle world here is representing the present. It's kind of the main trunk of the tree. And then the upper world, which is usually more of the spiritual, intuitive side of things, which is demonstrated with the tree branches and the very higher up parts of the tree. So with this card here, it's interesting because as we've got the lower world and the upper world, we really have been very deep into the underworld of our unconscious minds, of the energies that we've been in with all the retrograding planets in the past, 4 to 6 months, really since October. There's just been some heavy retrograding energy that has really represented the underworld. And so this card is quite nice to see, actually, as we are shifting energy for April and focusing more in the middle world. And this is really inviting us to stay in the present moment. So even though we are still looking at what's shown up for us in the past and how we have supported ourselves or not supported ourselves in the past, we are also being invited to stay in the present, to be mindful, and to support ourselves really mindfully during this heavy energy. So, how can we do that? How can you show up for yourself and really support yourself? Well, this is what I was just talking about earlier here when I was saying that for myself, I've been getting connected into nature. And it's not like I have Uber's amount of time to go walking in nature, but what I like to do is that when I take the dogs out in the morning or when I go out in the morning to leave the house, I spend just a few minutes really standing in just one area and being very mindful of bringing in my breath and connecting into the four directions, to the elements, to the north, east, south, west, and my heart, and really grounding that energy in, and just taking that energy and carrying it with me in my energy field, in my mind, in my present moment as I continue to go about my day. And that has been really supportive for me. And it may be for you as well. And if that doesn't work for you, what else works for you? Are you able to, have a really beautiful shower or a bath where you're lighting candles, or you're able to go into a meditation or go for a long drive, or even just take a few minutes a day, whether it's setting a timer or reminders throughout your day to just take a breathing break. Just settle that energy back into yourself and bring your nervous system back into a calm, present state where you can come forward with a very grounded, energetic, calm nervous system that allows you to make the most empowered choices and empowered decisions as you go throughout your day. So that is lovely to see as we're shifting in. And it's a great reminder for us to really stay in the present moment and really support ourselves as well. So I love that card. So what's moving in? I just have to laugh at this because here we've got now the upper world, as we were talking about the lower world and then the present moment. Geez, I love how you can't make this stuff up. So this is, of course, the invitation for us to look towards the future. So this is kind of almost a little bit of a counterintuitive, if you will, because we've got the reminder to be in the present moment. and really anchor that space in. And then we're now being given the invitation to look to the future. And I'm getting information around this card. It's not so much that we want to live in the future, it's more of the fact we want to honor ourselves where we are, but look to now find ways to really nurture and support ourselves as we move into the future. And what does that look like for us as we have been in much of the reflective energy for the last, like, well, almost 6 months, 4 to 6 months? We have been given scenarios and memories and opportunities to clear so much karmic debt, so much hurt, so much trauma that has been collected in our current incarnation, but also in our soul's incarnations, past, present, and future. And so we've been given such a beautiful gift to heal all of that over these last few months and look to see at the reflection of where we've been, and given the opportunity to start thinking about what seeds we want to plant. And if you've been following my videos, you've heard me say that quite a bit. So, what has come up for you? Probably a lot of confusion around what seeds you've wanted to plant, and maybe even a spark of so many things that you're like, oh, I'd love to do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and oh, there's just so many options for me to choose which one it would be the most optimal for my next steps as I move into, supporting myself in the future. And so, as we've been in that really underworld type energy, we're now being, like I said, reminded to go into the present moment. But now with the shift that we're moving into with April, at least about midway through April, you'll start to see how things will make more sense. You'll get more answers to your questions that have been percolating. You'll get more clarity around all those confusing bits that is like, which direction do I go? What seeds do I plant? Here's what I'd love to create, but how do I go about doing that? What's my next action step? And so, even for me, this is like a breath of fresh air because I, like you, have been very unclear about what direction to go in. I have been asking, what's my next action step? And for the most part, the energy that I've been working with is just to continue supporting myself and nurturing myself, being mindful and doing the best that I can to show up each and every day, to take responsibility for my actions and my emotions and my healing, and coming from a very beautiful space of love to support myself and all those that I'm very fortunate to come in contact with that are guided my way with sessions or just in conversations or however those interactions happen. And so I'm very grateful for that. So this is really beautiful for us. So now we have the invitation to start planting those seeds. And we're going to get more clarity around which seeds we actually want to plant. So that's really lovely. And again, this is also an invitation to remind us about our spirituality and what that looks like for us. And honestly, it doesn't matter, if you're super religious or if you're kind of a new age and you're into the more the woo-woo stuff, I guess is what you could call it. But it's really inviting you to get more connected in with your own personal spirituality and what that looks like for you, and how you use your own, I guess you could say, use your own beliefs around that to support yourself and to plant those seeds as you move forward in whatever capacity that looks like for you. So that's really lovely and really interesting to see. Okay, guys, so what is next out of this deck? I feel there's at least one more card from here. Oh, that's not that one, didn't completely jump out. From past videos, I never pick cards. I always allow them to be picked for us. Think of the guides just really boop, boop, grabbing them out. And well, that one is very the medicine wheel. So continuation. That is, that's a really, oh, and look at this. We've got three circles here as well. We've got the circle of the sun, we've got the circle of our zodiac sign, and we've got the circle of the medicine wheel. So that's really beautiful. And we even have the spiral showing up here as well in the medicine wheel. So we're really talking about the cycle of life, the cycle of growth and change, and the continuation. Because one of the things that we need, well, we don't need to do anything actually, but one of the things that we can look at from a different perspective is that as we have been moving through this very heavy, healing, dense energy, it has been shifting us greatly in many ways. Even if we are not seeing them so much in the physical sense, it's definitely working on an unconscious level through the whole entire energetic body, the energetic system. And much has been shifting for us. Maybe we've gotten more activations that have been connecting us more deeper into our intuition, into our spirituality. You know, maybe we've even gotten more opportunities to set more boundaries to support our relationships and to naturally have that break of the relationships that no longer serve us, or a transmutation of the relationships so they become more supportive and more dynamic for us as we move forward. So there's several ways that we have been shifted through all this dense energy. And some of us have even had lots of loss. I know that I had to put my kitty down of almost 13 years about 2 weeks ago, actually. And it has been quite an adjustment for me no longer having him in the physical sense. I know he's here with me in the non physical, but that experience of loss and what that means for you and how you adjust through that is also the reminder of the cycle of change. Because the one thing we can always count on is that everything always changes, even if it's so subtle. Every breath we take, every moment we get up in the morning and we go to bed at night, we have changed and shifted over the course of the day. And so we're never the same person. And so this is a reminder for us about the continuation of life, the continuation of death. So this cycle of life and death, if you will, or what I like to kind of say is it's the cycle of endings and beginnings, endings and beginnings, endings and beginnings. It's endings and beginnings. It's the continuation. It's a continuation of constant shifting, transmuting, transcending, integration, embodiment. And this is really even tying back into the perfectness of divine timing, reminding us that everything is following the cycle of life, the cycle of death, the cycle of endings and beginnings, endings and beginnings. Because every day we're a completely different person. Every moment, every breath, we're always different. So as we honor ourselves in the present moment, looking at what seeds we want to plant for the future and how we can support ourselves in taking those steps towards the future, those future goals, desires, dreams, being mindful of this cycle of change and the endings and the beginnings and the endings and beginnings. We can look at all of this heavy, dense energy that we've been in from the underworld, and we can look to see how that has been helping us grow and nurturing us, helping us to support ourselves even deeper. And we can look at how it has moved us into a brand new beginning. Because really, what we are coming into is a brand new us, is a brand new experience, is a brand new opportunity for us to move forward in this beautiful energy of creation. It really is pure creation. And that is so magical and so special for us as we continue to move along our journeys. So that is marvelous. It's marvelous. I love the way these cards have kind of come out to really support us in this energy. And with that, I've got the fairy deck that wanted to come out and play. You know how the fairies love to come out and play. I really feel that they're bringing in more of that elemental spark of energy that really helps us to connect into the earth, into nature as we are moving through the energies. So they love to come out and play. Oh, there's our energy. Ah, manifestation. You can't, honestly, it's just the messages just tend to fall in so beautifully. So manifestation here, be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now write it down on paper. Manifestation number 1. So really, and this really goes into the future card here, right? It's about what seeds we want to plant. Now, I don't particularly call it manifestation. I like to set my intentions. I just feel that manifestation and the word manifestation has gotten a little bit twisted in some ways. So while manifestation happens all the time, and we're constantly creating because we're the co-creators of our own reality, sometimes the way that we are taught about manifestation can really be a disservice to us. And so I like to offer people the wisdom and the guidance around setting those intentions, because when we set intentions, it is more powerful to write them down. However, I know some people are not writers and they don't like to pick up that pen and paper and they don't like to journal. But there is something to be said in sitting down and setting an intention to bring forward your heart's desires, your heart's, wisdom, and your heart's goals and dreams in writing. There's just something magical that happens with your high self coming in, your intuition coming in and flowing through your energy body, all your energy bodies into your physical body, and you just write through that pen and putting it onto paper, that it just creates this magical dynamic that allows the universe, that allows your beautiful mind and the soul and the intuition and the all aspects of you really to work together in a cohesive state to go, oh, this is what we're creating. This is what we want to bring forward. Okay, cool. Let's get on that. And it just works in such a beautiful way when we set that intention. And in essence, that is manifestation. That is manifesting. That is sitting down and being the master creator of our lives. That is sitting down and living masterfully and loving wholly when we connect into ourselves and we set the intention to bring forward our heart's desires, our soul's desire of moving forward in a very supportive way. So I really love this. And so if you're not a big journaler or you don't like to write things down, really consider that as you move into this energy, into honoring yourself and where you're at and looking at how you can nurture yourself and where you want to move forward to in this continuation of endings and beginnings. Look to sit down, even if it's just for a few minutes, and connect into yourself and really bring forward the intention to work with your soul, work with your guides, work with your intuition, and bring forward your heart's desires in writing. And I always love to add this or something better, because then it allows the universe to really step in and work the magic. It's not a coincidence that the manifestation fairy is holding a magic wand here. Like, this is magical. This is where when people are like, oh my gosh, I created this, and they think it's a coincidence, or they think that it was some kind of divine intervention, but really it was them stepping into the magic of creation. And it's really beautiful when it happens. And it often happens by unintentional or not consciously aware of it, because we're always creating. And this is where people talk about, where your thoughts and energy are focused, this is where the energy goes, right? So when you are focusing your energy and bringing forward your heart's desires and asking, what's my next action step? Once you've done that, then it allows that beautiful, magical energy to flow in. So that's wonderful. And the next card deck was the animal deck. And I just felt like there was such an animal that needed to come in to support us. And for this month, we'll see what comes up from this deck. I do work with the animals quite a bit. As you can see here, I've got the crow and got my little squirrel there that was gifted to me. I love taking him with me. Some people think he's a little fox, but, and I originally thought he was a fox at first at a quick glance, but he is actually a squirrel. And then I've got the little Egyptian cat here that I've got years and years and years ago, but I've always loved the cat energy. So for me, the cat energy has always come in to be a huge support for my life. And not sure if you're a big animal connector or if the animals resonate with you, but the animals have always been a big support for me as I've been moving along my journey. And much of how the universe talks to me is through the animals, through nature. Oh, geez. I am sure there was a card that I wanted to come out of here, but so far, nothing is coming out. Okay, I'm going to put this down for 1 second because I think the fairies weren't done yet either. Oh, no, the fairies were not done. Wish wisely. Okay, little fairies, thank you so much. So, wish wisely. Use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desires and take practical steps towards making your dreams come true. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. So here we have the invitation for us to manifest, to step into setting intentions. And oh, I just want to mention too, if you're really adverse to writing it down, at least find some time to set a recording or some way to record it and put it into tangible form, because when you do that, the energy is flowing through your energetic body, and that is allowing the universe to work with you. So this energy here from this card, Wish Wisely, again, because we are such powerful co-creators, and much of the time when we are creating we're unconscious about it. We're not consciously aware of what we're saying, where our thoughts are going, and all this stuff. It tends to create scenarios that we go, oh, that was cool, but that happened. And then we wonder why the universe didn't get it right. And an example of this is there was someone who said that they wanted to have a no car payment and they wanted to have more financial freedom. And there was a series of events that took place in their life, and they ended up into a car accident, and I think they ended up having some kind of relationship breakup or something where they ended up not having the home anymore, so they didn't have the mortgage payment, and there was something else that happened. And so it was a series of events that led them to have more financial freedom because they no longer had the payments and the, I guess you could say, the financial responsibility of the house payment and all the stuff that they had in their life. And when they realized that when they were setting their intentions or their manifestation of their goals, they didn't clearly specify how they wanted the payment to end. And so this card here is an invitation for us to be reminded to say, okay, this is what I would really love to bring forward, or something better. And it's like, I don't know how this can take place, but I'd love for it to take shape. So it's really interesting how when we start to put our words in to play around our heart's desires and our goals and what we're wanting to bring forward into creation, into this new chapter, how it can, I guess, how we can really almost be a disservice to ourselves when we're not being very mindfully present. And again, this is where we circle back to the middle world being present. So when we are connecting in to what we want to bring forward for the future and that continuation of, endings and beginnings, being present and really saying, okay, this is what I would love. I would love to create this universe. And just being very clear in what you would like to create. And then adding this or something better. And that this or something better allows the open-endedness of the universe to work with you. And the reason why that is important is because if we were to just be too tunnel focused on one thing, we would actually stop ourselves. The brain would step in and stop ourselves, or just energetically, we would stop ourselves from seeing other opportunities, other doors that we could step into that would help us to create what it is that we're wanting to bring forward by being too tunnel focused, by being too specific. So there's a level of being specific and clear, but then there's the open-endedness of this or something better that allows us to keep our vision open, keep our heart open, so that when the opportunities start to present themselves to us, we are in a place of receiving them and stepping into them so that we can take the baby steps that eventually create the magic of what our heart is desiring. So I hope that makes sense. Ultimately, if you sit with yourself, put your hands on your heart, take a few breaths, and really feel in to where you've been reflecting on what it is that you've been wanting to bring forward. And then you get present and really sit with that and say, okay, this is what I'd really love. This is what I really love. And be clear. Be clear. So it's not like, oh, I want $1 million. You can be clear and say, okay, I want to have X amount of clients, or I would like to work X amount of hours to bring in this much money in this amount of time. And then you can say this or something better. And then if you say this or something better, then you've got a clear guideline, right, for what you're wanting to work towards. And yet the universe can open up the doors that may bring in other opportunities to help you create that $1 million, right? So there's beautiful ways that when we sit and connect into ourselves and say, this is what I'd love to create, or something better, this or something better, it allows the universe to work with us as the powerful co-creators that we are. So with that, I think the fairies are done now. So I think we should be able to, I'm feeling that we should be able to have our animal come through now. We certainly have a lot of animal energy on the table today that I was invited to bring in. Oh, there's one card, but oh, the crow. The crow, of course, had to come in. And the crow is such a magical bird, such a magical bird in so many ways. I love the magic of the crow. I love the power of the crow. I love the dynamic of the crow and everything that it represents. There is so many layers to the crow as well. And this goes double for the raven. The raven and the crow just have such magical energy around them. Is there any others that want to come out and share? Because I know we had so many cards come forward, so I just want to honor that for a second. Sorry, I'm talking to the guides. As the crow is, I'm really connecting with the crow's energy right now with the through the eyes. There is such a deep wisdom that the crow is wanting to bring forward for us all. And I think for the most part, the wisdom that's coming through is to really honor yourself and work with the magic that's before us as we step in and create the magic of the future. The crow also has an aspect that represents endings and supports the souls as well. There's been things that I've read around the crow that also speak about when the crow or the raven come as a guide to you. They can be loved ones bringing messages to you. Could be your intuition or the guidance from your soul as well. So there is such a beautiful energy around the crow as well as the raven. They also speak about transformation and transmutation as well. And it's just, and there's also a dynamic in there or a level in there that is also about the air element and that movement forward as we move into the second half of April. There will be a lightness, there will be a lighter moving energy towards creation of the future, planting those seeds. And it'll be even nurturing those seeds as we continue to move forward. And the crow can definitely help bring that clarity, bring that connection, bring that wisdom. I invite you to actually look up the crow on your own and see if there's some further spiritual meanings. You could simply Google the crow spiritual meanings and see what comes up. Now, I always caution people when they're Googling things to really feel in and use that discernment piece before they just take whatever they're reading as fact, because there's a lot of information out there. Not saying that it's wrong or anything. It just might not be in full alignment with what is maybe true or accurate for you. So really feel into that discernment piece. And that's good advice for everything, of course. Even this reading here that I'm sharing with you. Always use your discernment. Okay, and this is the other energy that I was feeling. It's the turtle. The turtle energy. So with the turtle energy here, so the turtle represents the water element, but it also is very earthy as well. So we've got the air, the earth, and the water coming into play here. The turtle is really interesting in many ways. It is got a very deep, rich energy, like of an ancient energy, and just the same as the birds do. And when we've got the shell of the turtle, there is a dynamic of things being collected and brought forward for later. So as we've been in this reflection period, it's like, what have you been keeping in your own shells that you can bring forward as you step into this new beginning as we move into April here? And there's this level of bringing forward creation and connecting into the earth and connecting into the power of the water element as well, that you can harness and use for nurturing yourself and bringing forward that divine innate wisdom within you that you've been keeping and holding in your shell. So it's really interesting how the turtle energy is coming forward. Turtles are also pretty resilient if you think about it. I mean, even when they get flipped on their back, they might seem vulnerable, but just in general, they have that hard exterior of a shell that they can go into and turtle, and then they can come out and they can, continue on. But they're pretty resilient. They're able to move through pretty intense experiences without too much damage, without too much scarring, without too much heaviness, I guess, because they have the shell that protects them and they're collecting much wisdom. much wisdom. And this is really representative of our own journeys as we're moving through our incarnations. We are very resilient. We're moving through life. We're surviving so many things. And in retrospect, at each experience that we move through, we're actually thriving. We're thriving, and there's this beautiful dynamic of give and take, of the endings and the new beginnings, and this cycle of life, the continuation of how everything has this ebb and flow and this perfectness of divine timing. We're collecting wisdom, we're harnessing experiences, and we can move through those experiences with so much brilliancy and radiance as we are continually anchoring in and grounding and supporting ourselves and being very resilient in all of our experiences, the good, the bad, everything. And so as we move forward collectively here, we've got two very powerful animals to come in and support us. We've got the crow, the raven energy, and we've got the turtle. So we can harness those energies. And if you want to dive in further of the turtle spiritual meanings, by all means, go ahead if you're drawn to. Again, use that discernment though. And we've got the invitation now to step into that manifestation piece and wish wisely and honor, what it is that we're wanting to bring to creation by being in the present, looking at, the wisdom that we've carried in our shells for long periods of time and how we can move forward, bringing out that innate divine wisdom in the most powerful and profound ways that really honor and nurture our soul's desire, our heart's desire. And we are being reminded that we're planting seeds for the future, and there's this beautiful continuation. So no matter what has unfolded for you in this past, even maybe 4 to 6 months, and especially these past, couple weeks, this last month of March, remember that every ending always brings a beginning. And that is incredibly beautiful. That is incredibly magical. It is incredibly magnificent and marvelous, as we are always given new opportunities to grow and to become more integrated, more empowered, more embodied into our whole powerful innate self. And I love the guidance that's come through for this month because it feels honestly like a breath of fresh air. We have so much support and wisdom. And of course, if you haven't been connecting in with your guides or your high self or your intuition, please, this is a lovely invitation. This is a lovely time for you to start getting connected in, whatever that looks like for you. Just take some time to really feel into that and get connected and bring that forward. So with that, I am so honored and grateful that I could share this beautiful message with you for April. So that is that. That is that. And I wish you the very best for April. May you celebrate all the endings and the new beginnings that are on the horizon and really support yourself in the present, creating wisely as you harness in the energy of your own divine brilliance, your true innate divine brilliance, anchoring in that space of love. So I wish you all very, very well and the best for April, and we will see you next month for May's message. So thank you, thank you, thank you.